MMA Lockup. Asking the tough questions of the tough guys.
Welcome to 5 Minutes Alone with Rodney James, presented by MMALockup.com and Fox Sports 1190 The Fan. With us today is UFC heavyweight Pat H.D. Barry. Mr. Barry, how are you, big man?
Doing pretty good, man. How are you?
I'm doing great, man. Thanks. So you've got a fight coming up this weekend in Brisbane, Australia against Soa Palelei. I understand that you were a little nervous about the flight. How was your flight? I guess you're in country now, right?
You know what? It actually wasn't. It wasn't. I mean, now that I'm here, of course, I'm an instant gangster. As soon as I land, I'm like, ha! I knew it was going to be great. I wasn't nervous. I wasn't scared. But other than that, it was okay, man. It was three flights, 2 hours, 13 hours, then like a 3.5-hour flight. Everything was okay. I started off kind of rough. The first flight started off kind of rough. The very first flight from Denver, we go to board the plane, and they tell us that something's wrong with the plane. We need to get off the plane and hurry get onto another plane. There's turbulence for the first 20 minutes. It was craziness.
Didn't give me any second thoughts about flying, though?
No, I mean, well, yeah, of course, always. I mean, we're sitting there at the airport about to board the first plane, and then as we're boarding, they say, all right, everyone stop boarding. Something's going on.
You're like, oh, hell no. That's a sign. I got to get off this plane. So I'm assuming you missed the Saints game on Monday night.
I absolutely. You know what? Not only missed the Saints game, how about this for some craziness? I completely missed Monday, December 2nd. Like, that's weird, huh? Like, Monday, December 2nd does not exist. We left Sunday afternoon at 3 p.m., and we land here Tuesday morning at, like, 10 a.m. So Monday, December 2, that never happened. Wait, does that make me a day younger?
I'm not sure. Well, technically, I guess it makes you a time traveler.
I'm a time traveler. I knew it. Flux capacitor.
88 miles an hour.
Yep.
All right, brother. So for your fight this weekend, you drew Soa Palelei. He's a big dude who's won his last 9 fights in a row, all by knockout or TKO. He's also a highly decorated grappler. He's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, an Abu Dhabi world champ, a wrestling world champ. So probably one of the best grapplers you've ever faced, in addition to being, just a big tough guy. How do you see this fight playing out?
I think it's the way the majority of my fights are always going to go. I think the bell's going to ring. We're going to touch gloves. We'll cross each other, and someone's going to make a move, then someone's going to have to pay for it for making that move. I mean, regardless of how it goes, man, there's going to be bombs that are going to be thrown. Of course, he's going to try to get the fight to the ground. I'm going to do my damnedest to avoid the fight going to the ground. Like, just the same thing as always. He's huge. I'm not huge. I'm kind of big, but I'm not that big. And that's it. Just throw bombs at each other until somebody falls out, the way it's always been.
That's a great attitude to have, and I mean, I think that's obviously one of the reasons why the UFC loves you and the fans love you. And I look forward to this fight. I think it's, I'm sure it's going to be an exciting fight. You have an interesting style. You're a pretty technical striker, but your fights never go to decision. It always ends up with somebody getting knocked out because you always just go for broke. And I know that's a style that can't be learned in a gym. So, I mean, did you fight a lot when you were a kid? How did you get to be so scrappy?
To this day, I'm 34 years old, man. I still, to this day, have never been in a fight outside of the ring, ever. But I've been a ninja since day one, man. I've been dreaming about, having those, like all the cars pull up in the field and in a circle with the headlights on, and the fighting in a swimming pool that only has like an inch of water in it, like towards the bottom deep end. Like, I've been dreaming about that kind of stuff ever since I was a kid, man. I've been going over all those different fight scenarios in my head, like while I'm flipping over fences and jumping over like chairs and whatnot. Like, it's always been like that. So, I just was lucky enough for it to kind of carry out into my actual real life career. Whereas, it's not just like an all-out berserker type style, which I've heard, but it's really calculated. It's just when it comes down to it, like, my calculations tend to kind of jump off kind of quick to where it looks like as if, all right, there he goes, boom, it's just over.
Right. Yep. Folks, you're tuned in to 5 Minutes Alone with Rodney James, presented by MMALockup.com and Fox Sports 1190 The Fan. Joining us right now is UFC heavyweight Pat Barry. Pat, you're a guy who's knocked a lot of people out. I know a lot of fighters, threaten to knock their opponents out leading up to the fight. You hear them. A lot of guys say, "Well, I'm going to knock this guy out," but very few people can actually walk the walk. You're one who can. What's it like to knock somebody out?
Honestly, man, it's kind of weird. Like, I'm 12 years in since I put on my first pair of gloves and thrown my first punch. I'm 12 years in, and I still, till this day, knock someone out, and then, like on the spur of the moment, it's like, ah! But then, like, a minute after that, it's like, oh, man, I mean, because really at the end, like everybody's just, oh man, when I get it, I'm gonna kill that guy. No one really means that. I think that sounds really cool to say, but that's just more of a figure of speech. Like, I've never, I don't normally say that, but I don't say that ever. But you hear people say it all the time. Oh, punch a guy, I'm like, kill him, man. His family's never gonna see him again. It's like, you know what? You're not a murderer, and that's it. That's craziness. I mean, so. Like, do I want to win a fight? Yeah, absolutely. Do I want to win all the time? Sure. Whether it's a small win, a big win, a devastating win, a win to distance win. I want to win fights, but I don't want to maim anyone to where they can't function in life anymore after that.
Is it like a surreal moment when you knock a guy out? I mean, do you just do you see it happen in slow motion, or do you sometimes just like hit him and you're like, wow, I can't believe I dropped him?
I think for the most part, the majority of my knockouts are the kind of knockouts where it's like you never know exactly what punch is going to be the one that does it. So I mean, you get kind of close. Like I know it's going to be one of these three that I'm going to throw right now, but you're never quite sure which one is going to be. So sometimes it's a pinch of a surprise, but at the same time, it's not a surprise because you knew you were going to do that the entire time because of the preparation that I have. Like at the end of my preparation, when I'm totally like on point, I know that I'm going to hit you. I know that this fight's not going to distance. I know that I'm going to hit you, and it's going to be over for you. Like, I know that. I know I'm going to hit you, it's going to be over for you, and I'm probably going to have something broken on me. Like, I know that's something that's not a surprise to me, but there's still a pinch of it that's like, ooh, it really happened. Oh, wow.
And that's the moment you live for, right? Getting your hand raised at the end of the night. Well, we're about out of time, Pat. That concludes another edition of 5 Minutes Alone with Rodney James, presented by MMALockup.com and Fox Sports 1190 The Fan. Pat, is there anything else that you would like to say to the fans or anyone else at this time?
No, man, just everybody keep your eyes open. It's going to be a one-round fight, and send all the good energy and good vibes out towards Southern California where Shane Del Rosario is, man. He can use it all.
Yes, absolutely, man. That was well said. Very, very tragic situation with Shane Del Rosario right now. Thanks again for joining us, and good luck in your fight this weekend. Again, ladies and gentlemen, that's Pat Barry. He's taking on Soa Palelei this weekend at UFC Fight Night in Brisbane, Australia. Tune in to Fox Sports 1 on Friday night to check that out. Pat, thanks for your time, brother.
All right, thanks, man.